Hey, badass business owners, welcome back to the show. Hey, on our quest to work our way through the E-Myth Revisited, I want to move on to the next section, which has to do with your management strategy. You might recall from the last episode that in the book, he talks about his business strategy, and this happens to be one section of it. Now, don't you tune out, because here's the thing. Today is Thursday. Typically on Thursday, we talk about knowing your business numbers, and this really ties into it, because when you start diving into your business numbers and understanding it, one of the first things you're going to notice as you dive in and start to understand your numbers is that you are making a lot less money than what you thought you were, or you might discover that you are losing money in places you never thought you would. You might say, "Hey, I'm every little bit of money that you can come up with is going to go to the bottom line, whether it's $50 here, $25 here, $10 here." Well, where most of your money is lost is actually through your processes and your systems, because you have inefficiencies on how you get things done. You have inefficiencies on how your people get things done, and it is costing you money. For example, if you pay people $15 an hour and they have to stay on the job site for an extra, just even 15 minutes extra on the job site, you're already looking at an extra $3 that goes out the door, $3.50 for you to be able to pay for them to be there. If they spend time in the car driving and you're paying for them to drive from job to job, and let's just say that you send them from one part of the city to the other part of the city, and it takes a half hour for them to be able to go there. Once again, there's $7.50 out the door. So every little thing that you do can be tied back to a system, and how you, in this particular case, it's how they either got the work done, which caused the first 15 minutes of extra time, and then the car drive, sending them from one end of town to the other end of town. That's how you schedule, how you do things, and that's also part of a system. So today we're going to talk about systems, and systems are something that not only makes your life 10 times easier, it also benefits the customer because they get a consistent experience with no matter who does it, or every time that it gets done, it's done consistently because you have these systems in place. But more importantly, because we also want to tie in our business numbers, it's going to help you financially, because it's going to ensure that more and more of the profits stay in the company and don't go out, because you've got that system put in place, the right systems in place, in order for you to be able to maximize your profits. So once again, we are diving into the ebook. We are in the back half of the book, starting to wrap it up. And this one is from the section that says your management strategy. And the management strategy isn't so much management people-wise. Management strategy is more systems strategy, and that's what we are talking about, because it's more about the systems that you actually put into place. Because when people are left to their own devices, they're going to make decisions in the moment. And when we make decisions in the moment, they may or may not be the right decision. And it's on something that should be done the same way all the time. Have you ever been frustrated with somebody, or even yourself, that you do it differently, and then when you do it differently, you're like, "Oh, why did I do it that way?" And you realize you just cost yourself some money. Or maybe your people did it a way that was slightly different than what you wanted them to do, but it was enough to get them off course. For example, if a ship is off just 1 degree, they're not going to land in the port that they're supposed to land in. If a plane is off just 1 or 2 degrees, they're not going to get to the airport they're trying to get to. So if you think about your business, it's the same way. You can't afford to constantly having to course correct, because if you don't catch it, it could cost you all kinds of problems. When people make decisions, it actually uses a lot of brain cells. Steve Jobs, Apple, he was famous for always wearing that black shirt. He wore the same clothes all the time. And the reason he didn't want to use brain power in the morning when he was getting dressed. You have a routine every morning that you probably follow where you're not having to use any brain power. Ever being driving down the road and you get off on an exit and you're like, "How did I do that?" It's because you weren't using brain power, because you do it the same way, the same thing every single time. So it's really kind of the same thing. And if you don't believe me, think about one time when you were getting ready for something and you were in your closet trying to figure out what shirt to wear, what dress to wear, what shoes to wear, what suit to wear, whatever the case may be. And you kept going back and forth between something, and you were getting so frustrated because it was taking up so much brain power. And you probably at one point started to laugh because you're thinking, oh my God, all I'm doing is getting dressed. How am I so drained? And that's the only decision I was making. That's what I'm talking about. So in your business, how can you take away all that brain power that has to be used, all that energy, all that time? You know what? Typically, if you walk into your closet and grab a shirt, it takes 2 seconds. But when we have to make a decision about what shirt, next thing we know, something that was 2 seconds, all of a sudden becomes a 10 minute, half hour process trying to pick the right thing of what to do. See what I mean? Lost time, lost money. Same thing is happening in your business because you don't make it systematized enough. You're leaving it up to somebody making an interpretation as to what they should be doing on some of the smallest decisions you have to make in your business. So what this chapter is really about is how can you take away those smaller decisions so this way people stay focused and you stay focused on the things that matter the most, and you take away the risk of doing something the wrong way or wasting time, wasting money. And that's a big takeaway of this particular chapter. He doesn't quite use the same analogy that I just did, but that's the gist of what it is that he's talking about, is take away the guesswork, take away, people having to try to figure out what they should do. This is where those checklists come in, those operation manuals come in, basically where you lay out exactly what should happen. Earlier in the series, we talked a lot about McDonald's, and I've been using McDonald's a lot as an example. And the reason is I've known about McDonald's and their systems for a long time. A lot of franchises and especially food franchises are systematized like crazy because they want people to have the exact same experience from franchise to franchise, which is why a franchise becomes that turnkey, turns it over with the exact same thing, and why they tell you every single thing that you should do, from even in an ice cream shop like I had, where to put the silly cherry and what order things go in. And they do that because they want people to have the same exact experience, the same exact product, time after time after time. And that's what you want to do in your business, because you want your customer and your clients to have the exact same experience every single time. Because once they get one type of experience the first time, and then the next time they get a different experience, they're going to be like, okay. But the third time when it's very different, and now it's like 3 different experiences, they don't know what they're going to get. They really aren't, in love with the place. I've talked about in past episodes my love for QT Quick Trip. It's a gas station here in Arizona. It's in several different states. What I love the most about them is I'm going to get the exact same experience every single one that I go in. Everybody's happy. They greet you when you come in. They're always working. They're always hustling. The bathrooms are always clean. The stores are laid out very similarly. There's a couple different versions of them, but I know what kind of experience I'm going to get time after time after time. When I go into some other gas stations, like I'll just pick on one right now. If I go into a Circle K, which is also very big here in Arizona, I can literally go from Circle K to Circle K. And while they they all look different because some of them are older, but some people are really nice, some people not so nice, some are clean, some are filthy, dirty. You get a different experience. You know what? If I have to stop and use the restroom, it's a gamble because I don't know what I'm going to get inside that Circle K, whereas opposed to QT, I know exactly what kind of experience I'm going to be able to have. Same thing with the soda machine. Some people clean them, some people don't. Whatever the case would be, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of you guys go into a lot of different gas stations, especially those of you that take your business on the road. And I'm going to bet dollars to donuts you have certain ones that you use every single time. And the reason you use them all the time is because you get that same experience every single time you go. And every time you go to someplace different, you never know what you're going to get. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This has to do with you having a strategy, the management strategy of putting everything in place. From the way that you hire people, the way that you onboard them, you follow the same process every single time. The way they get trained is in their expectations being set up from the beginning every single time. The way they're told to do the job, every single time it's the same thing. When they do the job, here are the expectations. This is the way that you do it every single time. Now, it sounds very overwhelming because you have to put all of this into writing and make it very clear for people. Now, I'm not telling you to do the whole entire thing tomorrow. What I am telling you is pick one thing a week and say, okay, this week I'm going to put into writing this particular process, this particular expectation, and I'm going to write it out. Have you ever wrote it out? And by the way, even if you have no employees, I want you to do this, because the first person who has to be on board and doing it the same way every single time is you. So even though it's just you need to make sure you're holding yourself accountable to being consistent every single time, because you're your first employee who is costing you money. Yes, you're costing you money. So whether it's just you or you have employees, you need to do this exercise, because it's all about consistency, whether it's you or anybody else. And you can't expect your employees or your future employees to do it if you're not even doing it yourself, because people, what's the new saying going around? More is learned, what more is caught than is taught. People tend to, and our kids do it with us. We can tell people not to do things, but what's the first thing you say? Well, but you do it. Okay. People watch what it is. We're trained that way from kids. We watch what we see other people doing. So when you start to have employees, if you're not following your own guidelines of what you expect, you can't expect them to follow it either. And once again, it all comes down to it's costing you money. Okay. If you're bouncing all over town, then you're the first person costing you money. If you're spending way too much time on the job, the problem is you don't think of it as money, because at the end of the day, if you spend too much time on the job, you're thinking of it as time. You've wasted time. The reality is no. At some point, you are wasting money, because one, you've given up your life. You're working 24/7. You're working these long, crazy hours because you didn't value that time. And by not putting that process in place, at some point, you're going to replace yourself with an employee. And if it's okay for you to be there an extra 15, 20 minutes to a half hour, you're basically giving your business the okay to be able to take that same extra time when you are paying somebody $15 an hour and you are willing to give up that $3, $4, $5 an hour or for that extra 15, 20 minutes. So can you see how it all plays together? I know I'm really beating this one, because I think this is probably like one of the biggest things that you need to get is, how do you make your business as, if you want to grow, if you want to keep working 50, 60, 70 hours a week, go for it. You know what? If you're a workaholic and that's what you want to do, I'm not going to stop you. I'm a workaholic. I totally get it. You know what? I'm a constantly improving individual, and I waste time myself because I bounce between so many different things. So I know I'm preaching to the choir on this one, but I also know that when I put the systems in place, and when there's certain things that I do them very systematically, because I know I don't want to waste time and brain cells on things that I shouldn't be doing. You ever notice that when you have to be somewhere, or you want to go on vacation, or you want to get off work, have you ever noticed that you kick into a whole nother drive? It's because you're hyper-focused. And what's funny, what you don't realize you're doing, is you're going to your internal checklist that you already have, because you know you can be uber efficient if you do it A, B, C, D, and not bounce all around, which is how you get it done. There's some things I do in the morning before I take off that are A, B, C, D. When I'm doing some stuff now with the new YouTube channel, it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I can jam out some stuff that I've now got it down to a system that I can bang something out pretty quickly with what I want, what I'm trying to do on some old stuff. But same thing within your business. You know, you've got checklists. You know what? When I sell a house, there's a certain way that I go, so I can make sure that I can get things done quickly and efficiently without wasting a lot of time. You have those in your business. I'm just rattling. I know I am. I just want to make sure that you really spend some time with this particular chapter on your management strategy, but really it goes through the entire book, and it is all about you putting together the systems in place from the very earliest decisions that you need to make, that your employees need to make. You know what? You need to have the same process for when you hire, for when you onboard, for when you train them. You need to have the same process every time you go into Mr. or Mrs. Jones's house. Every time someone walks through the doors of your building, you want to have the same process. You know, he'll also talk about some things that if you get really smart about it, you can make notes about people. So next time you see that person, you make it personalized, because you're like, hey, Mrs. Jones, how's the dog? Sometimes we do it off of memory. Sometimes there's some businesses that actually will make notes of that stuff. So that way, when Mrs. Johnson makes the appointment, it pulls up automatically that she's got a little dog who does whatever. You know, sorry, my brain's not quite functioning yet, but you know what I mean, where you make notes and you remember things about your customers or clients, and then they're like, oh my God, that's so personalized. Thank you. But if you make it a process within your system, then guess what? You're going to remember those things 10 times easier. You don't have to memorize this stuff. It's just part of the process of things that you gather on individuals. And he actually has a pretty cool example he uses in the book. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, because I am getting a little bit long-winded on this, but I think you can understand that The processes are going to be where you save your money and where all the little nickel and dime stuff is going to add up. So I want you to make sure you take this part seriously. Like I said, I think we tend not to take it seriously because one, it's our time and we don't associate it with lost money. You need to start associating your lost time being dollars. Your lost time not only is taking you away from your family, making you work 60, 70, 80, 90 hours a week, but you need to start associating a dollar number with it because that's exactly what you would be wasting with employees. And at the end of the day, it's time you can't do something else with, so it is being wasted. And if it is your employees, you know what? You're giving up $3 here, $5 here, $10 here, and it all adds up because at the end of the week, at the end of the month, you're talking hundreds, if not thousands of dollars that you're throwing away because you have let them make the decisions on things they shouldn't necessarily be making. So the best analogy goes back to you trying to find out what to wear, how much brains power you use, how much time you waste, all trying to make a decision on what you're going to wear for the day or for the special event. So take away that time and claim back that time, claim back that money, and you are going to find your profits starting to really creep up. And at the end of the day, we are all in this to make more money. So think about your processes. Start small, do one a week, just make it simple. Make it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid, whatever that saying is. Do that. And I think you're going to be really impressed what you're able to do in your business and the profits that you are getting. And if you are interested in getting the E-Myth Revisited, there is a link in the show notes for you as well. If not, just go on to Amazon and get the E-Myth Revisited. You won't regret it. All right, with that, I'm out of here and I will talk to you next week. And we're going to wrap up this whole entire series. A couple other really good nuggets that we're going to get out of this. And I will talk to you on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, before you go, if you're looking to learn more about your business numbers, then check out the Know Your Business Numbers course, where we take a deeper dive into the key numbers, the calculations, the reports that will help you take your business to the next level. My mission is to help everyone love their business numbers. Yes, even including those of you that hate math. So much profit is hidden inside of your business numbers, and I want you to create some awesome profits. So check out the link in the show notes or head on over to the knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. Once again, knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. Come join me. Let's go ahead and work on building your profits.